I'm in a slump, and I have been for the past couple of weeks, and I'm guessing if you've clicked on this video then you are too. I want to start by saying that that's completely okay. It's normal for us to have fluctuating motivation levels, and sometimes life just gets the better of us and we fall into negative cycles and work builds up and we feel overwhelmed. It happens to even the best of us, but that negative cycle that you and I are in ends today. The first step to getting out of a slump is recognizing that you're in one. If you've been feeling tired, unmotivated, or burnt out, the first step to combating that is acknowledging it. Try and identify why you're in a slump, because that will help you work out what you should do to get out of it. For example, if you know that you're feeling burnt out because you've been overworking yourself, then the most important thing that you should be doing is resting. It's important that you let yourself recharge before you do attempt to get on top of all of your work. For example, you could have a self-care night. That's what I did. If you've seen my most recent video, which was a self-care night, you would have seen all the things that I did to allow myself to rest and recharge. Personally, I've not really been feeling like my best self this past week, so I thought it would be the perfect opportunity for me to show you what I like to do to get back on track. The very first thing that I'm going to do is go for a run. One of my goals this year was to start running again. So last year I completed the Couch to 5K, which is just like a running program on this app, but I didn't really maintain it towards the end of the year, so it's something that I wanted to continue with in 2024. I'm currently on week 7 of 9, so today's run is 25 minutes with a 5-minute warm-up walk and a 5-minute cool-down walk. We don't have like a set distance at the moment. I'm mainly just working on my stamina and endurance so that I can run for a long period of time, so I'm not really focusing on my pace and distance as much for now. And I feel like it can be really hard to make things like running a habit, just because it is so mentally challenging. Like when you think about going for a run, even now that I've been doing it since the start of the year, I think, oh gosh, do I really have to? But it's such a great way for me to clear my head, and I feel like sometimes, even if I don't have the motivation, if I force myself to go out, I always feel better afterwards. And I usually feel more energized after my run than I did beforehand, which seems ironic, but you know, that's what exercise does for you. That's why it's so good for your mental health. So I'm going to put some of my favorite songs into my Spotify queue, and then let's go for a run. Alright, I'm just about to do a warm-up and then I'll put these bands on. It's currently dark outside because it's quite late. It's just gone 6 o'clock. But there's just something about running at night. The vibes are different when I'm running in the dark. But it is pretty much pitch black outside. So I just wear these. I either put them on my arms or my legs, but you just press a button and they glow in the dark. So I'll probably just strap them to my arms today because I know I'm not going to be taking my jumper off because it's so cold outside. But I always go for a run after work on a Saturday. Today's Saturday, by the way. Yeah, I'm just going to warm up, put the bands on, and then head off. Oh, by the way, if anyone's wondering, I track my runs on this app called Runkeeper. My mum used to run, so she got me onto it. It just tracks your location and then it tells you like your pace, how far you run. And I have mine on a setting that it notifies me like whilst I'm running at every kilometer and every 5 minutes. And like I said earlier, I'm not like that concerned with pace and distance at the moment, but it's always good for me to kind of have that, because sometimes I will think to myself, oh, actually I'm going slightly too fast, and I know that I'll get tired later on. And I probably won't be able to film much outside because you won't see anything because it is dark, but I'll see what I can get for you.
But if I lay down and I play dead and I stay dead, maybe you'll get sick of being the monster out of my head, under my bed, think you're something out of my nightmares, standing right there. But if I lay down and I play dead and I stay dead, then will you get bored of killing me?
Silhouettes of you are like a taunt. Never really know just what you want. With you I don't ever feel calm. I can feel the sweat inside my palm. Play with me like cats and a string. You don't understand the pain it brings. You don't ever wanna give me wings. You don't ever wanna set me free. You know I'm addicted to you, and it's twisted you've been gifted with the evil.
Alright, I'm back from my run now, but I ended up running 3.78 kilometers. Not my best run, but it was still really good. I'm proud of myself for going out anyway. My average pace was 6 minutes and 43 seconds per kilometer, which is quite good actually. The past few weeks, the runs that I've been on, my pace has been like 7 minutes and 20 seconds on average. So that's much better than my average recently. But it was actually a really good run. I enjoyed it. It says here, like on the app, that it's my 14th fastest. So, like I said, not my best, but some days I have really good runs and some days I don't. I would have said this was a good run anyway. I feel like when I get into the headspace for running, it's much easier. Like I just sort of dissociate from my body. That sounds so strange, but as in like I'm not running and thinking about how tired I am. Like I just try and not think about the fact that I'm running and instead like focus on the music, or I don't know, I just try and forget about the fact that I am running. But now I'm going to have a shower and wash my hair, especially on days when I feel kind of bleh. There is nothing better than having an everything shower. It is now the following day, so I set my alarm relatively early. I was up and out of bed for 8 o'clock, so I'm just going to continue with the other things that I didn't get around to doing yesterday, but I want to do to sort of get on top of everything. And the first thing I'm going to do is sort my room out, because I feel like my room at the moment kind of reflects my current state of mind. I'll insert a couple of clips so you can see what it looks like. I feel like I've just sort of neglected it the past few weeks, and the mess is now starting to stress me out a little bit because I can't find anything. It's almost like I can't even see most of the carpet either because there's just stuff all over the floor. Like I purposely picked this frame because you can't see any of the mess. I just want to put all of my clothes away because I've got piles of washing which need to be organised, lots of schoolwork that needs to be filed, I need to make my bed. Just having a general tidy up I think would be beneficial for me because at the moment it's just a bit of a shambles, and I know I feel so much better when I have a clean space. room is now clean. I feel so much better. I knew I would, but it's always just the mental challenge of like forcing myself to do it when I really don't want to. But I'm now going to start on some of the schoolwork that I've been procrastinating. I have a long list of things that I need to get done for school, and I tend to sort of just put off the things that aren't immediately due because I just can't be bothered to do it. And that's not a good habit, and it's not something that I want to continue doing, but I feel like that's what I have been doing the past week or so. But before I do start on my work, I'm going to go get some breakfast. My dad's going to make my mum and I a cooked breakfast, which is always really nice. We do that every Sunday. And then I think I'm going to make myself a fruit smoothie as well, because I haven't had a smoothie in so long. And we actually got a new blender, which I think I've used once, so I'm going to go downstairs and make myself a smoothie. I really want to make sure that I'm trying to eat more healthy food, because I know in my self-care vlog, like my most recent video, I talked about how comfort food is good from time to time. But I feel like recently that's all I've been eating. And whilst it's good to have in moderation, I feel like I've been having it a little bit too much. And I know it's definitely harder in the colder months because you just want hot comfort food because it's cold outside. But healthy food, exercise and sleep are all things that are important for boosting your energy. And ironically, they're all the things that I've not really been doing. I've not really been consistent with any of those things, but that was why I wanted to do this, because hopefully doing all of these little bits and bobs will get me back on track. My desk is all set up and I've made my smoothie. In the time it took for me to walk from the kitchen to my bedroom, I've drunk pretty much all of it, but it's fine. But I'm now going to get started on some of my homework. I've been putting off a lot of schoolwork purely because like throughout the week I'm just so tired after school each day, so I just brush it aside and tell myself, oh, I'll do that later, and then a week goes by and I still haven't done it. But on the days that I really don't feel like doing things, that's why it's important to have discipline, because I'm not always going to feel motivated to want to get my work done. And honestly, my main source of procrastination is my phone. Like, my screen time's absolutely ridiculous. It's gotten to the point now where like I just don't know where the time goes. I'll check my screen time and I'll just think, how have I spent that long on my phone? Like, I could have spent that time sleeping. No wonder I'm always tired. I complain I don't sleep enough and I get like 5-6 hours of sleep a night. But I could be getting 9 hours of sleep if I didn't go on my phone for as long as I do. It's honestly just gotten a little bit out of hand. But when I'm doing work, I either put my phone in another room or I'll put Fulero on, which is just a Pomodoro app. It's just like a revision timer, which I've been using for a couple of months now, and that just stops me from going on apps that I shouldn't be. And I find with schoolwork, I can quite easily fall into like a negative cycle where I'm constantly overwhelmed by how much work there is. And it starts with like me having lots of work, then I feel overwhelmed, then I avoid doing the work because I don't want to feel overwhelmed, then the work piles up, then I have even more work, and the cycle repeats. And I've definitely experienced that more like towards the end of GCSEs and now going into A-levels as well, because the workload obviously increases. But I'm aware that when I go into year 13 and like towards the end of year 12 as well, I'm only going to be getting more work from here onwards. So I need to sort of get on top of it now so that later on I don't feel kind of swamped by all of the work, because I've established the routines and I've gotten into the habits now. I have no homework due tomorrow, but I do have 2 pieces due on Tuesday, one for law and one for psychology, both of which I haven't yet started. First, for law, I just have to write 3 8-marker exam questions, so that's not too bad. And then for psychology, I just have to do some worksheets. We've just started biopsychology, so it's like an introductory couple of worksheets that I just need to get through. that is the end of today's video. My question of the day for you today is, what do you like to do when you're in a slump? Thank you so much for watching this video. Make sure to like, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you next time for another video. Bye!